Okay, so untap, upkeep, and welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, and if you haven't, hey, welcome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our show for you today. And maybe sort of been on like this weird kind of like control mage kind of aspect, if you will. And we just did a really cool Christmas celebration at my LGS, my local game store. And it was really cool to go there, and it got me thinking about one of the precons because it was a precon event. You paid your fee, you got random precon, you got a deck box, and you got sleeves, and it was a great time. We all had fun. But it got me thinking about a certain precon, and I'm like, I want to do something really mean with this deck, and I know you could do horrible things with it, but I want to do it on a budget. So what would this look like on a budget? And well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that's exactly what I did. We are going to look at Miss Bumbleflower as a budget control deck, which surprisingly is still a bracket 4. Because I'm that horrible person. Why is it a bracket 4, you say? Because we are going to run one game changer, which is going to be Narset, part of our Veils. And we're running one mass land denial, which is, cataclysm, maybe, sort of. Oopsies. So if you don't know Miss Bumbleflower, she's from the precon that was, oh gosh, I'm him drawn. Bleh. Bloomborough. There we go. Brain work. She's from the Bloomborough precons. Now, Wizards designed her to be a group hug deck out of the box. And out of the box, it can do things. It can hang with most precons. It's not going to be the most overpowering thing. Um, so, and generally in Commander, it's bad to give your opponents things. So I kind of wanted to see what it would look like if we just went full blown evil with her, I guess. And we're basically building a Voltron deck in Bant, really, when you think about it, because she's the only thing we're going to have on the battlefield, and you'll see why in a minute. We want her to be uber powerful and just clock people. So for 4 mana, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue, and 1 general color of any color, we get Miss Bumbleflower, who is a rabbit citizen, and it's just a big old booty 1/5. But she has the following ability. She has Vigilance and says whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, it gains flying until end of turn. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you may draw 2 cards. So we're looking to keep more card advantage for ourselves, and we're not really looking to pump anything else but Miss Bumbleflower. However, hear me out. We could be persuaded, if you will, to help out somebody who might be being attacked by a big dumb idiotic dragon or angel demon or take your pick with flying. Maybe we're that generous, maybe we're not. Kind of depends on the Miss Bumbleflower. So let's dive into this. So starting with the base of this, we're going to look at Narset, the part of her Veils. Originally printed in War of the Spark, we get a 3-drop Planeswalker with no plus abilities, just negatives, and a static. And the static ability is each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. So the idea behind this is we're only going to allow our opponents to draw 1 card, period, whether it's their card for the turn or the card we give them from Miss Bumbleflower. And she has a negative, but I'll read it, but we're not really too worried about that. So -2, look at the top 4 cards of your library. May you reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It only has 5 loyalty. So you could do this twice, potentially, before it gets killed. We don't really care too much about that. We're just trying to keep her as a way to keep people from drawing extra cards while we have all the fun and value. So we're going to dive into the creature package, which is extremely light, especially because we're trying to play stuff on everybody else's turn. So we have Arbor Elf, of course, Mystic Elf, Llanowar Elf. We're running Dave, the Sakura Tribe Elder, Findhorn Elf, and Ornithopter of Paradise, as well as even a Feyblur Elder, all of which are just nice little mana dorks to help us out. We have a couple of payoffs with Chasm Skulker that will grow bigger and bigger and bigger. We can even put the counters instead of on her, Miss Bumbleflower, put them on this thing, and then when this thing dies, you get a whole bunch of squids. So that's a viable option. Homunculus Horde, every time we draw our second card in a turn, make a token copy of this so we can still go wide, as well as Joriel, the Moonveil Recluse. Draw your second card each turn, make a 2/2 cat. So we have a couple of ways that we can just kind of leverage this a little bit. We also have Psychosis Crawler, so every card we draw, we're able to drain the table. So we like having that as an option as well. Excuse me. We can actually keep this alive because its power of death is each equal to the number of cards in our hand. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a couple of counters or so on the Psychosis Crawler from Miss Bumbleflower's ability, so we can make sure the crawler doesn't just, die when we have no cards in hand. Council of Four is a nice little support card. So for 5 mana, we get a 0/8 Human Noble. My goodness, we got some badonkey-donks here. Whenever a player draws their second card during their turn, you draw a card. Whenever they cast their second spell, we make a 2/2 Knight. So we have potential. If we don't have Narset out, we might could have this out and gain some incremental value that way. We also have Mengar the Diplomat. So for 4 mana, we get a 2/4 life-linking human cleric that says whenever an opponent attacks with a creature, whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. And then whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. So as you can see, we're well rounded. We have a couple of different ways we can just kind of take advantages here and there from the deck, which is kind of what we want to do. Forgotten Ancient allows us to get counters on it for every spell our opponent is casting, and then we're able, at the beginning of our upkeep, move those counters to anything else, like, a 1/5 bunny that we want to give flying and just hop skip commander damage people. Yes, I purposely went over this because this is the last card in the creature package I wanted to talk about. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. For 5 mana, we get a 4/5 Vigilance Construct that has the following abilities. When it enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among all of the non-land permanents they control. And then you sacrifice the rest. I'm getting around Indestructible, I'm getting around Ward, Hexproof, Shroud, I'm getting around all of this. When I drop this sucker, you're going to know, and you're just going to go, oh, why? And I'm just going to cackle like a hyena, because now Miss Bumbleflower could be the biggest thing on the battlefield. And if I play one more spell, things get horrible, don't they? Yes. Let's look at our sorcery package and just see how messed up my brain is. We're running ramp pieces with Cultivate, Ramped Growth, Explore, Farseek. All of them are great. We got Preordained to draw, and we could try and draw some. I like this a lot. Spirit Water Revival. I've been watching Covert Go Blue, or CGB, on his YouTube channel, playing this in his control list, and I thought, well, let's see what this can do outside of Standard, outside of Brawl. Let's see what this can do in a real-world Commander deck, especially one that's very, very spell-heavy. So for 3 mana, we get the sorcery. It says, as an additional cost to cast a spell, you may waterbend 6. While paying at a waterbend cost, you can tap your artifacts and creatures to help pay for each one of this mana. So it's going to be a little tricky to ever get this going off, but we can do it. We can do it, I promise. And then it says, draw 2 cards. If this spell's additional cost was paid, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library, draw 7 cards, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-binary people, dogs, cats, bears, whoever is watching, We have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. None. We are a control deck. We love seeing those words. We are just going to have all the answers to all the things and just cackle and maniacally laugh and just make everybody miserable. Because we're running several board wipes in here as well. We have Starfall Invocation. If we gift a card, we get a bonus. Excuse me. 5 mana, destroy all creatures. If a gift was promised, return a creature card put into your graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. Lovely. Divine Reckoning. 4 mana with flashback of 7 mana. Each player chooses a creature they control. Destroy the rest. All we care about Miss Bumbleflower, everybody. We don't care about everybody. No, we care about Miss Bumbly Flower. Single combat. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. This literally means we can lock out the game for a turn, potentially, and hopefully finish somebody off with some commander damage, which is what we're trying to do. I may or may not have added this one. Cataclysm! 4 mana, each player chooses from among the permanents he or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land, and then you sacrifice the rest. So this is our mass land denial. We are hoping to just wreck everybody's day. If we're not winning, nobody else is. Everybody can be miserable and sad with us. You heard me? Yeah, you heard me. Promise of loyalty. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifices the rest. Each of those creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control for as long as it has a vow counter on it. This means we are safe, everybody. For at least a turn, maybe two, we are safe from any kind of retaliation after a board wipe, which we just did. Because all we care about, again, is Miss Bumbleflower. We care about punching in for that commander damage. And I think people are just going to be horrible and miserable. And okay, so be it. Our instance package is very heavy. Beast Within to blow up something, Broken Wings to blow up something, Counterspell, of course, Brain Freeze, of course. I thought this would be a nice gem in here. Failure to comply. Instance B, return target spell to its owner's hand. So if anybody is trying to say, like, it can't be countered or whatever, we could just go, cool, well, I'm not countering it. I'm putting it back into your hand. Can you pay for it again? And after this goes to the graveyard, we get this other side, comply. Choose a card name until your next turn. Your opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name. So we could potentially leverage this to have a game-winning move, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's great, and I want to see somebody get miserable. Frantic Search, draw 2, discard 2, untap 3 lands. Long River's Hold, gift a card. Counter target creature spell. If the gift was promised, instead counter target spell. So it's basically another counter spell. Sure, we have to give somebody a free card to do it. That's okay. We're kind of doing that anyway. Illusionist Gambit. This is falling off the bandwagon for blue decks as far as like a tricksy way to deal with a whole bunch of attackers. And I think it's time this sees the light again. For 4 mana, 2 double blue, we get this instant that says, cast this only during the declare blocker step on an opponent's turn. Remove all attacking creatures from combat and untap them. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Each of those creatures attacks that combat if able, and they can't attack you or a planeswalker you control that combat. So you stop combat, and then you restart combat and go, by the way, all 400 Scoot Storm tokens you were swinging my way, now they have to go somewhere else, and then I'm going to kill you. GG. Heritage Reclamation, again, blows up something. Harrow just helps us ramp more. Growth Spiral, draw and ramp. Generous Gift, blow up something. Excuse me. Negate allows us to counter a non-creature spell. Opt to scry, draw a card. Path and Swords allow us to exile problematic creatures. Um, Careless recycling, we can gift a card, and then we have the following choices. So return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty nice on just that front. But if a gift was promised, instead return target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. So we have a little bit of recursion here. I really like this one too. Perplexing Test. Instant speed, 5 mana, choose one. Return all creature tokens to their owner's hands, or return all non-token creatures to their owner's hands. So if you're facing down a army of rabbits from Heir Apparent, scoot swarms, goblins, elves, even dragons, whatever, we can use this to instant speed because we're instant speed anyway. We're holding up mana anyway. So we can use this to just be like, nah. How about no? Rewind, another counter spell. I've tapped 4 lands. One of our last little surprises is Riot Control. So you gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Prevent all damage that would be to you this turn. So it's a nice way to not only fog the combat, but gain some life and keep us a little bit ahead. So we really, really like having that here. Just kind of a little cheeky thing, really, when you think about it. Artifact package is pretty much what you expect. Arcane Signet, Silencia Signet, Simic Signet, Azorius Signet, Commander Sphere, Soul Ring, Belwar Stone, Mind Stone, Prismatic Lens, and of course, Swiftest to the Bootus. So, pretty typical of what you would see in a Mana Rock package, I guess you would say. I went real heavy with the lands. We're actually up to 37 lands, which for me, if you watched any of my other videos, you would know that's like 1 or 2 more than what I normally like to put. I'm normally in the 34 to 36 range. When I make budget decks, and especially if I'm building them for somebody else, I'll be up in the land count. I want to make sure they're having fun. I want to make sure the deck is doing what it's supposed to do, and they have a shot at playing the game and having a good time. After that, they can tweak the deck, and they can either add or subtract a land or 2 and make it whatever they need. And I might do it on the fly, too, just the way I am. So we're really kind of landing on being able to make our land drops more than anything. So we have 37, and we have a couple of choice enchantments in the deck as well. So Hoofprints of the Stag goes super bonkers with it. It came in the pre-con. So whenever you draw a card, you may put a Hoofprint counter on Hoofprints of the Stag. Pay 3, remove 4 of the counters, make a 4/4 white elemental creature token with flying. Activate only during your turn. Now, it doesn't say it's sorcery speed, just your turn. So, potentially, as long as this is on the battlefield, especially early game, we could have an army in a can later on in the game. So, we're not too worried about all of our board wipes, honestly. On the Trail, beautiful 2-drop enchantment. I don't know why it's not seeing more play. It totally should, especially in this kind of build. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That's winning. If you were going to upgrade this deck and you had Spelunking and a couple of the other things that do a similar effect where they could come into play untapped, I mean, you're just going to make people miserable. Simic Ascendancy is another backup win condition. So if this has 20 or more counters on the beginning of our upkeep, we win the game. Every time a creature gets a 1/1 counter under our control, this thing gets a 1/1 counter, and we can just straight up put counters on it. We also have Wilderness Reclamation. I remember there was a time this was like a $5 to $10 card. It has dropped drastically since the release of the set. Very happy to see that, actually, because then you could put it in a budget deck like this and just make things all the more terrifying. We are looking to be a Bant control deck because I haven't really seen anything like this before, and Miss Bumbleflower is by far the best candidate to do this. Like, I really don't think there's another really good control commander in the white, green, blue color wedge that would actually work as well as Miss Bumbleflower. If there is, let me know in the comments below. Would love to know and pick your brain about it. Finally, we have Wizard class. Pretty simple, no max hand size. We get this level 2, we draw 2 cards. If we max this out, it's like having our commander on steroids. Every time we draw a card, she gets a counter, and she gets another counter from her own ability, and just, it's our commander on steroids. We love everything about this card. Going down to the land package, it's kind of like the artifact package. It's pretty standard or what you would expect to see. Attica Waste, Brushland, Canopy Vista, Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, Exotic Orchard, Path of Ancestry, Island, Hinterland Harbor, Glacial Fortress, a whole bunch of firsts. Always have to have my one piece of land destruction in every deck because they're there, guys. If you haven't seen them, they're there. Look up the Tabernacle of Pendrevale, and you'll cry. If you're any kind of token deck, you will cry. Plains, Prairie Stream, Razor, Verge, Thicket, Sea Chrome Coast. All of our temples are in the deck as well. A Terramorphic Expanse, a Tranquil Landscape, and a Yavimaya Coast rounds out the land package. Our curve is ridiculously low. We top out at only a 5 CMC or mana value spell. So our curve is really, really, really low. I mean, look at this hand. You play an island, you pass. So let's draw a card. We're gonna do a quick little test run of the deck. So turn 2, I would play a forest. I'd play Growth Spiral. So we could draw another card, make our land drop for the turn from the Growth Spiral, which would be the Temple. So we can see what we're gonna get. Yeah, we'll get a Cultivate. I mean, that's not bad. So in the next turn, we drop a forest. And then I would actually do this. I would drop Arcane Signet into Arbor Elf, into Rampant Growth. Let's go find a Plains. Plains, where are you? I need a basic Plains. To the battlefield. Close. Shuffle. Shuffle. Pass our turn. So on turn 3, we already have access to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 potential mana. On turn 3, everybody. The next turn, we have all the things we want to do. So we could just cast our Cultivate, because we haven't made a land drop for the turn. And if we do it right, we're only going to use the green. So let's grab an island, and that'll be the one for our hand. Let's put a Plains onto the battlefield as well. So the Plains would come into play tapped. We'll play the island for the turn. We literally just pass the turn at this point, and we don't care. We have so much mana on turn 4. Oh look, another land. Now we can play our commander, Miss Bumbleflower, pass the turn. Somebody has a spell coming to the stack we don't want, so we'll do this. Somebody draws a card, she gets bigger. Pass our turn, because we're kind of stuck right now. Somebody does something else we don't like. Maybe there's a board wipe coming, so she gets bigger. Play another land. Maybe we'll crack that. I mean, you can see how we're doing some stuff here and there. Like, we're starting to get there. So I think the deck has a lot of potential. I've done other sample hands before, and it just snowballed out of control. Easy upgrades to the deck. I mean, it's blue, white, green, so you can easily upgrade the holy Hades of this deck and do, like, you know, you could try Blind Obedience if you wanted to. You could try Authority of the Consuls. I mean, you could go more stacksy with the deck and really, really punish our opponents. And it might be just fine. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Miss Bumbleflower Control? On a budget, by the way. Do you think this deck would be a horrible thing to bring to the table for your friends? Or would you enjoy watching them scream and suffer and All you gotta do is draw one of what, 6 or so, maybe 7 board wipes, and you could add more board wipes to the deck. What changes would you make to the deck if it was yours? Budget and non-budget. I'm loving to hear from all of you in the comments below. Don't forget, like, share, comment. Please subscribe if you're watching the channel. You help me out immensely. Get me in the algorithm. Make YouTube pay me so I don't have to ask you for your money. Their money is much better because they have more of it. And I am more than happy to get paid from them. So, hey, help me help you. I've been the Buddha Dragon. Don't forget, rub that belly for mana, and may all your games be filled with magic.